Greetings everybody, it's BLU-ERNIE back with another video for YouTube for all my friends and family. Good mate of mine on YouTube, 8 the Chosen One, also known as Frank Piccarelli on Facebook as well, did a video the other day, 20 exploitation movies that he likes, and he's put a challenge out. Anyway, it's a bit of fun. We're all the same community. We all have a bit of laugh, show our collections and what we've got. So I just looked through some of the videos I had, DVDs, not Blu-rays, but DVDs that I've got that I bought on the cheap and in the past, and I thought I'd throw a few in. There's some that he's already mentioned, a couple of them, and some that he hasn't. So some are from the UK, some are not. So I thought I'll give it a go. It's a bit of fun. We're having a laugh. Now, he made a mess up with Last House on the Left last night, and I'll start off with that one. This is the one he's on about. Wes Craven, Sean S. Cunningham's original Last House on the Left. This is the 3-disc Ultimate Edition, uncut totally, from the UK, where I live. And it's quite a cool set. And if you click it out, you get the same front there. The man on the back. He's one of the killers in it. As you get David Hess, rest in peace, legend. And then, of course, you get all three. You get the film with all the extras as well in the middle. And then you get a documentary, Going to Pieces, The Rise and Fall of the Slasher Generation, which is a very good documentary. That cost me £3 English money. Bargain. Great exploitation flick. Not for the faint-hearted. It's pretty grim, but it's a really good film. That's a great one. Next up, Lamberto Bava directed this, produced by the Italian giant Dario Argento. Demons. Great film. Absolute fun as hell. Basically, a lot of people go to this all-night film show in Italy. They get free tickets. Something goes on in the cinema and they start turning into the undead. There's guts, blood, gore, a little bit of tits in there. Very good fun. If you like your old-fashioned horrors from the 80s, and a cracking rock soundtrack. So if you like that, good. And also, quick warning, some of these films will contain spoilers. If you haven't seen them, why not? Next up, this was known as the baby cat stories in the 80s. There's a few films made, but over in England, they got 2 or 3 of the films and joined them all together, made them, hashed them up and everything, and they came out with the uncut, gore-tastically, bloody fantastic, absolute fucking jaw-dropping Shogun Assassin. There you go. Absolutely brilliant. If you want to see rivers of blood and lots of it, heads coming off, samurai swords, decapitations, this is brilliant. Shogun Assassin, totally uncut, fantastic film. Up next, in the 70s and 80s, we had a slash of Vigilante films. From Death Wish started it off in the early 70s, Michael Winner's classic, right through to Death Vengeance in the UK, was also known as a different film in America with Tom Skerritt. And then they brought another one out with Fred Williamson, Robert Foster and Woody Strode. We're talking Vigilante, which is a great exploitation film. And it's violent as hell. I picked this up for 50p on a car boot sale. It's quite hard to get hold of in England now. That's Fred Williamson, Robert Foster, Vigilante. Brilliant film. Right. This film stars Ken Wall from The Wanderers. He played Richard. He was one of the main guys. The late, great Paul Newman, Edward Asner, a.k.a. Lou Grant, and Pam Grier. Yes, Coffee herself, Foxy Brown, Pam Grier. This is the forerunner to Hill Street Blues, and The Choir Boys was before that as well, so it's a similar vein. We're talking about the classic Fort Apache the Bronx. Now in the UK it was only out on video, VTC. It's not out on DVD. It's quite hard to get hold of. I don't know if it's out on Blu-ray or anything in America, but this is from Italy. I got this on my honeymoon. And I bought it with a magazine, which I can't read Italian, so I didn't bother with it. But I kept the DVD. I paid €8 for it. There's our Pam Greer in the background there with a gun in her hand. It's all about, it's basically New York, Hell's Kitchen, the Bronx and all that stuff, and how these police officers have to live every day. It's exploitative. It's got a prostitute who goes around killing people with a razor blade in between her teeth. So instead of snogging them, she rips their throats out, and it's quite good if you like blood and guts and gore. There you go, for Apache the Bronx. Next up, a British film. This was originally a play for today on the TV by the BBC, but it was that bad, they banned it. And the guy, Alan Clark, made it into a feature-length film. And it was released on the cinema with The Long Good Friday in the 80s. I went to see it. It's all about the prison system, the young offenders system, and we're talking about law prisons, and we're talking about Scum. Ray Winston, Phil Daniels. Brilliant, brilliant film. This collection does include the original play for today and a booklet all about it, and the uncut play for today. It's all about basically a young lad who gets sent to Borstal, which is basically a teenage prison, and he has to survive. In order to survive, he's got to break a few heads. Then in the early 80s, Sean Penn made a similar version to this film called Bad Boys in 1983. Everyone said it was an American rip-off of Scum. It possibly was, but that was also a good film. But as an exploitative prison film, Scum is very good. It's gory, it's violent, it's not for the faint-hearted. It's got rape, buggery, everything in it. So, yeah, I've been warned. That's Scum. Great book, great set. Up next, one of the best slasher films of the 80s. Yes, you've had Friday the 13th, you've had Nightmare on Elm Street, you've had Halloween, you've had all of these. They're all great films, all great stuff. But this one, in England, was known as Rosemary's Killer. And Tom Savini did the special effects artwork on it, and it was a great film. And I love it. I've seen it on cinema. It was cut in England, but it's been recently re-released uncut. We are talking, of course, about the bloody-tastic The Prowler, a.k.a. Rosemary's Killer, about a World War II soldier who comes back to modern day, or in the 80s, and starts killing everybody in this town on VED or VA Day or whatever you call it. But it's very, very violent. One guy gets a knife straight through his bonds there, right through his throat. It's pretty good. These blood guts, these naked women with titties and everything. And if you like that sort of thing, The Prowler. Great, great film. Right, up next, you've had your National Lampoons are famous for doing the vacations and European vacations and all these other things. Loads of them. Tons and tons and tons of them. They made them all. But they made this one all about high school reunion. It's quite rare to get hold of in England now. And we are talking about the digital remastered National Lampoon's Class Reunion. Very funny, violent, bits of blood and guts, bit of nudity, very exploitative. It's basically better than American Pie because they're shit. This is funny. Funny with a capital F. I fucking laugh my head off at this. Big star cast as well. Don't ask me to name them all, but that's Michael Lerner. That's the chubby one in Animal House. And there's loads of other people in it. Mary Warrenoff and everything. If you want a good old fun, dig it out, put it on a few beers, you'll love it. Right. Exploitation in the UK. There's a band. They were banned everywhere. They were #1. They did a song about the Queen, our Royal Highness herself, and it got banned everywhere it went, the song and everything. So the manager, Malcolm McLaren, decided to do a documentary on exploitating the record business. We're talking about the Sex Pistols, the great rock and roll swindle. It's great. It's all about exploiting the system and winning. How to make millions just on your product alone. It's more of a mockumentary type film. It's a film, it's got singing, it's got everything. It's violent, it's gory, it's got women, it's got all sorts of stuff in it. It's a great soundtrack. It is one of the best documentaries of the 80s, late 70s that you'll watch. Great film. Malcolm McLaren's The Great Rock and Roll Swindle, featuring the famous Sex Pistols. I love it. And we're going on to a few more. Here we go. This is another exploitative. They're all exploit films, in my opinion. They exploit any genre. It can be horror, comedy, ghost, sci-fi, whatever. As long as it explores it and exploits it with everything, then I'm good. The next one up, Alex Cox, Emilio Estevez, Repo Man. Oh, Harry Dean Stanton as well. Brilliant film. British director from Liverpool, Alex Cox, makes his directorial debut with this film played by Emilio Estevez as a Repo Man. He's basically a punk rocker, a dropout, a dead leg, who's always getting drunk, fighting, shagging women, you know. Then he ends up with Harry Dean Stanton, who is basically a bailiff who gets cars and repossesses them. They have to find a car. This is a spoiler. They have to find a car that's got something in the boot that's worth a lot of money to the government, to the CIA, the agents, all these conspiracy theorists. It's funny, it's brilliant, it's a great soundtrack, and Emilio Estevez is amazing in it. There we go, Repo Man. Brilliant, brilliant movie. That's pile number one. Pile number two. I was in Benidorm a couple of years ago. I picked up this film, Tinto Brass. Helmut Berger and Ingrid Thulin. I can't read Italian, but we're talking about, it's got nakedness, lots of it. Set in World War II. Salon Kitty, uncut. I don't know if YouTube will allow me to put it on, but there's lots of women in the back and bums and all that stuff. And it's basically about the Gestapo and the orgies that they have and everything, and it's quite alright with a bit of fun. It's got the English version on this as well, and it's nearly 2 hours long. It's quite hard to get hold of in the UK because they don't like that sort of thing. That's Salon Kitty. Great film. Up next, Diane Thorne, Ain't the Chosen One, put this one up. Well, put one of theirs up. Ilsa. He actually had the sleeve to Ilsa She-Wolf for the SS, which is a great film. A bit like Salon Kitty, very good. I picked this one up along with Salon Kitty. We are talking about Ilsa, harem keeper to the oil sheiks. She basically leaves the World War II story behind. She gets employed by all these Arabs to basically infiltrate all these foreign agents in the harems of the oil sheiks of Abu Dhabi and all places like that. And as you can see by the cover, there we go, she's scantily dressed. She's very good at what she does. And on the back of it, if it'll let me, without blurring that bit out, lots of stuff goes on in the film. It's quite good, if you like that sort of thing. It's very exploitative and not for the easily offended, as most of them are not. Right, this one is a rare one. Roger Corman produced this in the early 70s along with Death Race 2000 and all that. It stars the fantastic Pam Grier again, aka Foxy Brown. And this one's got lots of women, lots of nudity, lots of scenes of violence. It's set basically quickly. Women so hot with desire, they melt the chains that enslave them. We are talking about Pam Grier, The Big Birdcage. Brilliant. I love this film. It's so fun. It's not for the easily offended, but there you go. It's basically a jungle prison full of women who are being enslaved to basically do stuff for this big tyrant who owns the prison. It's good fun. As I said, it's got everything in it. It's very exploitative. It's quite hard to find in the UK now because Prism Leisure have now gone defunct and you can't pick this up anywhere now, so it's quite hard. It's an out of print, I think, so I love it. That's The Big Birdcage. Next up, I love this film. Another Emilio Estevez film. In England, it was cut to buggery when it got released. It's always chopped to bits. I managed to pick this up again in Benidorm in Spain. I paid €3 for it. It's Stephen King's only directed film. that he did himself because he was sick of people ballsing up his own films. When it was made, it was a huge, huge flop. People didn't like it. It's got music by AC/DC. It's a great soundtrack. We are talking about Stephen King's Maximum Overdrive. I fucking love this film. Absolutely love it. I just think it's so much fun. It's basically all the machines in the world, the cars, the machines, knife cutters, everything, phones, games, all get possessed by this green light in the sky and take over the world for a week and a half or something while this big comet goes over Earth. And humans are at their mercy. It's bloody, it's gory, it's violent. Emilio Estevez is being exploited, see, exploitation, by his boss. All the people who work at this diner, they're all trapped by these trucks. And of course, one of the big trucks has got the big clown face on there, like the Riddler. And they're all being exploited, all being held prisoner by these trucks. And it's great fun. Loads of action, loads of stuff going on. Love it. There we go. This one as well is an out of print. Came out in 23rd century. When it first came out, Channel 5 UK Video in England in the 80s released it. It's a rip-off of Alien and all the space films that were going out and around. I bought it in Morecambe for 50p, so I was bargain there. We're talking about Titan Find, or The Titan Find. It's basically an Aliens rip-off. You can see the back of the sleeve. Klaus Kinski's in it, doing his usual mad person thing. It's good science fiction, bit of nudity, lots of gore, lots of exploited cheap crap. It's great fun. And for 50p, and it's worth some money, I'm happy. Next up, another science fiction one. Toby Hooper, brilliant. The Cannon brothers, or Cannon movies, as The Chosen One said, did Death Wish 3, a masterpiece. They did loads of shit in the 80s. They took over the whole film industry virtually. And one of my favourites was Toby Hooper's British directorial debut. We're talking Stephen Amell's back, Peter Firth, Patrick Stewart, yes, Picard himself, Frank Finlay, Nicholas Ball and Matilda May. Nicholas Ball used to be Hazel at UK show. We're talking Life Force. Female, naked vampires from space coming down to London, sucking the life out of everybody. Great fun. And they walk around with bog all on, as in nothing. You see everything. And it is really good fun. End of the world shit, a lot. It's great stuff. And it was all done with a big tongue in your cheek. So if you like a bit of fun, I would recommend Life Force. Great film. Next up, I've got 3 more to go. This one is another classic from the 80s. It was cut over here for years and years and years. Then it got released. Robert Englund's in it as well, would you believe it? Or Englund, as we're saying. We're talking... I wouldn't call it a zombie film, but it's slightly a zombie film. But we are talking Dead and Buried, Dan O'Bannon's... I think he he produced it and written it, and it was directed by Mr. Gary Sherman. Dead and Buried. It's basically about a village at the edge of the sea. Anyone who drives through it, they don't drive through, they get caught. And these people in the village seem to live forever, and there's a reason why. It's gory, it's fun, bit of nudity again. It's good exploitation horror from the 80s. If you love your old-fashioned stuff, violent, Dead and Buried's another good one. This is the uncut version as well. I think it's a double disc, I'm not sure. Yeah, 2 discer. And you even get the old foreign cover of it there, and you get stuff about it in there. And then you see them all, and they're grabbing the sailor and trying to burn him alive. It's great fun, absolute great fun. Dead and Buried's another good one. Right, last 2 good, but not least. Double bill, paid £1 for this. Axe and Pieces, 8 original to add to pieces. Axe is about a person from a rock band, he or she, going around, because this rock band are on the verge of making it big, and they get rid of one of their members. So the member decides to take it on themselves to kill them one by one. And it's a great little bit of fun. And then, of course, you've got Pieces. where somebody's going around killing all these people and trying to make a new person out of the bits to kill. Great fun, great double bill. As I said, I paid £1 for that, or $1.50 if you owe it. Oh no, actually, I paid £2.50. There you go, it's inside there. But quite a rare little one, I enjoy it, it's a good film. Last but not least, John Saxon, directed by Antonio Margarita. It is Cannibal Holocaust, original video nasty from the 80s. And it's a great film. One of the guys from Last House on the Left, the original, and House on the Edge of the Park is in this, and John Saxon. They're about Vietnam vets coming back from Vietnam, but they've got a taste for raw flesh and they end up being cannibalistic. Very gory, very fun, loads of stuff in it. One guy or one girl gets shot in this sewer, a massive hole in his body, and basically rats are all nibbling around him. It's good fun. But there you go. That's a bunch of exploitation films that I could find that I really enjoy watching when I'm allowed to, because my other half doesn't like all that stuff. It's science fiction and all that. I prefer gore and blood and guts and that. Hope you enjoyed it, everybody. I'll speak to you all soon. Leave your comments on YouTube, Facebook, share it, do what you want with it, everything, but have fun. That's what it's all about. See you all soon. Take care. Ta-da.